Welcome to Those Guys Sports. It is your boy Mike, and this is my free agency conversation. Free agency is it's most cases it's done. All right. Will there be a Dame Lillard trade? Most likely. Funny enough, as I record this, there probably will be as I'm speaking. I see Shams has already said it's a 14 trade. That's probably gonna happen. I'm hoping the Raptors can get involved somehow as a additional, as a first place Raptors fan. I'm hoping they can get included in any trade talk with Damian Lillard. Anthony Simons is who I'm hoping for. But yeah, the free agency has been pretty crazy. I'm not going to go through every single free agency situation that happened, but I do want to talk about, some winners and losers. I'm going to talk about a few of them, and I want to talk about the people behind me. Why am I talking about the people behind me? Because I think everyone has pretty much said it. The Lakers have won free agency. The Los Angeles Lakers were able to keep all their players, pretty much, besides Dennis Schroeder. They lost Dennis Schroeder to the Raptors and gained Gabe Vincent. Now, one may argue that what's the difference in both of their games? I do think Gabe Vincent, I know the numbers may not show it, but I think he's a better three-point shooter as a whole. I also think the way he performed in the playoffs makes me want to keep and have a guy like him. And I think Dennis Schroeder was a good player too. I actually don't think I do think they lose someone in Dennis Schroeder. I think the one thing with Dennis Schroeder, he provided you something that D'Angelo Russell didn't provide you throughout the playoffs, which was consistency. I think Dennis Schroeder was a more consistent player than D'Angelo Russell was. But I still think why the Lakers win and won free agency is look at the deals that they had for the guys. Hold on. I have to have my phone here because you need to have your trusted phone. Let's go for Rui Hachimura. They went a little bit higher, but a 3-year 50 mil. That's not bad for Rui. Rui had a 25 plus game, 26 plus game in the playoffs. He's a guy I know Washington Wizard fans probably dislike some days, but he was pretty good for the Lakers. And if he is like a fourth and fifth guy, that's not bad. You have Austin Reeves, a 4-year, 56 mil. Some are gonna call it the steal. It's the steal. Paying this guy who a lot of people are like, they're thinking that someone's gonna try to offer him 100. I don't get. Did no one offer him anything? I'm surprised no one offered him a 4-year like 80 mil. But I guess he wasn't offered it. I guess no one piped up to say like let's give this kid a little bit more money, but no one did. So shout outs to him and his agent and all that stuff. Another guy who on this Laker team, D'Angelo Russell, a 2-year 37 mil, 18 mil a year, not bad. He's a guy who was getting paid more money before, so he definitely took a pay cut because his game hasn't been what it was before. Now you got him. That's pretty good. So you guys send all these three guys to 2 3-year contracts, all tradable contracts, because arguably this is LeBron's last year as a Laker. Unless Bronny gets picked up by the Lakers, maybe he doesn't get drafted or whatever. Maybe the Lakers have to trade for Bronny, whatever that thing can happen. These guys are all tradable assets, all of them. Rui, if he performs with the Lakers, is tradable. Everyone looks good under the Lakers. Everyone. It's like known fact that the Lakers make everyone look good. Now, Gabe Vincent's contract wasn't 3-year, 33 mil. That's a pretty good contract. 11 mil a year for a guy that they've already discussed may start. He may start over D'Angelo Russell. That's not bad. I think I gotta fix my camera. I thought I got a better camera, guys, but it seems like it causes me as much problems. But I think it's because I'm moving a lot. But we'll see. We'll fix it later. Now, all these contracts, very good. Like all of them are tradable, and that's what makes a contract good is mainly if it's tradable. Now, every contract is tradable. Russell Westbrook got traded for a bunch of assets. Like every contract is ultimately tradable, so it's not like anything can come worse of it. But getting those guys, it makes them better. So I don't want to go too crazy with the Lakers talk, but because I think I may talk about it later on in the future. But once again, I think it was Kendrick Perkins or someone within the ESPN desk that had said, now this is all about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has to be the best player on this team. Every guy that got signed, the 3 guys behind me, all role players. I think the Lakers, and I'm probably saying it because I saw Jamal Murray and Jokic do it. Every team needs a bucket getter. If D'Angelo Russell can be consistent, he can be the bucket getter. But what I see with this team, and I've said this, I'm not sure if I've said it on camera. I know I've said it to my friend who almost hung up the phone on me. I said Anthony Davis, as much as he's good, and this is my point. I know the people will feel differently. They think that Anthony Davis should be the best player. I think Anthony Davis, the best version of Anthony Davis, as being a potential third best player on the team. Now, in saying that, there is going to be days that Austin Reeves will score more points than him, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent. It's going to happen. But what I'm really thinking for this team, for this Lakers team, is that Anthony Davis is going to be your dirty work guy. He's going to get all your rebounds. He's going to, especially playoff time, the man should be doing 17 rebounds a game. Honestly, 17 rebounds a game. That's what I'm telling him. If he doesn't get it, we're gonna lose games. He has to give us 17 rebounds a game. He gets you that. Austin Reeves, Rui, Gabe, all the guys have to be hitting corner shots consistently. Consistently need to hit corner shots. And I didn't even mention they got Taurean Prince as well. And they got Jackson Hayes. I think the Lakers really won this because they're paying guys like minimums and they have a bunch of role players. Now, of course, you really want Anthony Davis to give you 30 points a game, blah, blah, but I don't think that's probably the best version of them. The best version of this Laker team is LeBron and Anthony Davis looking at all these guys and going like, hey, we need you guys to carry us this whole regular season. And come playoffs, we're going to step up our games while you guys have the confidence to be the best versions of yourself. And that's what I know LeBron does for all his players, especially the players he likes. When LeBron likes you, he likes you. And you can tell with these guys here, if LeBron just gives them all the confidence, these guys are going to be they'll be perfect. If he gives them the confidence, it's a top 4 team in the Western Conference. Easily, the top 4 team in the Western Conference. If he gives them the confidence, if he says, Austin Reeves, shoot as much as you want, D'Angelo Russell, shoot as much as you want, as long as you guys are tough on defense and play hard, do what you can. Rui Hachimura, the same thing. Gabe Vincent is going to fight with D'Angelo Russell. I don't expect D'Angelo Russell to be on this team come the halfway point. I really don't. I think he's going to be a trade asset. I think by that time, the Lakers are going to probably want another defender, probably another big. If anything, you may want another big. I know they're going to be curious to see what a Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis lineup can look like. Jackson Hayes needs a lot of maturity and a lot of growing up. And I think who else can help you mature than Anthony Davis and LeBron James? Overall, Lakers won. They're like the number one. They won free agency because they just made everyone better. LeBron is not getting any younger, as we obviously can tell. Having multiple ball handlers in Austin Reeves, in a D'Angelo Russell, in a Gabe Vincent is only going to make LeBron's life easier. I think, and I want to see LeBron probably post up more, but probably physically can't do it as much. So maybe LeBron has to shoot more threes, but that's what he is going to have to practice. He has to practice those threes because he was not shooting threes great at all. But I can't. That's my Laker talk. I can't keep going on the Lakers. I can go more because I think what they did, and I think everyone can see it, is good because we saw what they did for just the halfway point with these guys. Now you have more wing guys. I think Jared Vanderbilt is still on the team. They picked up his option. Like all these guys, they're still thinking of potentially picking up Malik Beasley. But I think if they did, that would get them over the first apron. And I don't think they want to do all that. I think great moves all around, potential tradable assets. A bunch of guys can get traded. So I think very good move on them. I don't know, Western Conference. The Eastern Conference team that I believe had an amazing deadline or free agency, whatever, was the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm telling everyone right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers will be the number 1 seed. They're my pick, the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They got their small forward that they were looking for. And yes, this person is not going to be the greatest defender, but if you believe that Evan Mobley is a defensive player of the year, if you believe Jarrett Allen is a great defender, then it's possible. Donovan Mitchell, if he's not playing defense, then he's just being lazy, and he knows that. Donovan Mitchell is one of my favorite players. I think he is the best shooting guard in the league. I know some people are going to say Devin Booker. I truly believe Donovan Mitchell is the best shooting guard in the league. When I think of shooting guard, and a shooting guard I want is Donovan Mitchell. He is the guy who has the upside defensively that like a lot of people don't have. He could be a great defensive player. He can get you as much steals as you want. Like Donovan Mitchell has all that. So that's your starting unit. I think Strauss is gonna start. Then that's a shooter that you have, and it's always good to have a shooter on your team when you already have guys like Donovan Mitchell. Garland's only gonna get better. He's only gonna get better. He's probably gonna make it to another All Star. He's only gonna get better. Evan Mobley's only gonna get better. This team is good. Jared Allen, I hear is in trade talks. Not, I don't understand all that stuff, but whatever. Like I think, and then what else they did was they got George Niang off the bench, another shooter. I'm pretty sure they did more things that I'm just gonna quickly bring up. I have to bring. They still have Karis LeVert off the bench, who everyone knows the man can give you 40 points a game, and then he can give you like 11. But you know what? That's be perfect for your sixth man, because your starting unit is Garland, Mitchell, Strauss is your starter. He was on the finals. You start him. Then you have Mobley and then Allen. Then your bench is still, I think they traded Seti. So they have Rubio at the one, a great backup point guard, a great backup point. Oh my gosh, great. Karis LeVert, a really good two. Arguably start talking about this guy's a six man of the year candidate. George Niang, like this team is good, man. I only need 8 guys. You only need 8 guys. George Niang can play big. He's a solid player for this team. I kind of like they got Ty Jerome as well. Like, I think Cleveland made some moves, man. I really do think Cleveland's a team that we don't talk about enough, but it's a team that we should talk about. I believe that they did well. They did well. Now, a team that people are now trying to act like did well in the offseason, but I'm gonna debunk that because I don't think they did. I get what they did. I like some of the players. Was the Phoenix Suns. You have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, and then DeAndre Ayton too. So you have the 4 guys. You probably play a Koji at the 3 because you still need a better defensive player to put with those guys. So fine, you did all that. I'm pretty sure what's his face will be Durant will be the 4. I don't need to say what's his face. Oh, sorry. The Lakers also got Cam Reddish. Oh my gosh, come on, this Lakers team is good. Like that. These are moves. These are moves to make. You have 2 guys, and this is the way the league is going. You have 2 guys, and you have a bunch of players who can help the team. And I think they did that. I don't think Phoenix did. Yeah, they got Drew Eubanks. Okay, respectfully, come on. Kiara Diop. Okay, like no, no, like we're if these guys were on a team like OKC, you wouldn't even be praising this. You wouldn't be praising these things. Damian Lee, I do think is still quality. Eric Gordon, that's the best move he made. Him and Utah Watanabe. I love Utah when he was with the Raptors. I really like them, but he wasn't shooting 3 at 40%. And in Brooklyn, he was shooting 3 at 40%, darn near close to 50% at one point. And then I think with Phoenix, he'll do the same thing. Clearly, he's someone that Kevin Durant likes. He is arguably one of the most underrated defensive players in the league because when people look at him respectfully, they're thinking this guy can't play defense. And Utah's one of the best defensive players in the league. He is one of the best defensive players in the league. That's why I know he's one of the most underrated defensive players in the league. So those 2 moves I like for Phoenix. Other than that, like you got Metu, like you're not really talking to me. You're not really talking to me if you're Phoenix. Like I think the Lakers depth is better. Yes, it's a big. The first 3 guys are talented. Booker is a very talented player. So is Kevin Durant. And Bradley Beal is a really good number 3. Like I really do think so. But I think, with all their talents, they shadow each other. What is Booker going to be doing? Like what is Booker going to do when Beal is like trying to take over? What is Beal going to do when Booker like? Are they playing defense? Is this team ever? Their best defensive player is Kevin Durant, like in your starting unit, and Okogie. Come on, what is this team doing? Like, I don't see it. The bench, I'm not a big fan of. The Lakers bench is better than their bench. Denver's bench is better than this bench. Like, come on, like there's moves that have to be made, and I don't think Phoenix did all that. I still trust a Golden State Warriors. Like, these are teams that I feel like moved the needle, and moved a little bit more. Like, of course, not perfect needle. And what's gonna happen when Aiden doesn't play well? Are they gonna bench him? I feel sorry for Frank Vogel. I feel like he's always being given this. He's good with a team that doesn't get a lot of like respect, and he's good at flipping them and making them better. But this isn't it. I'm not impressed with what they did at all. I hope a lot of people aren't impressed either. But if they are, if you guys are, you guys just kind of love that team. I would say. So now that I said that at East, I gave a team that I wasn't liking. I'm gonna briefly talk about this team, the New York Knicks. You guys just got DiVincenzo, good player. I think the team's gonna be good. I just kind of want to see New York do more. How I want them to do something, but I think they are really waiting. They're waiting on that Carlton Towns call. Be like, hey, like, okay, we're ready now. Like, what can we get? What do you guys have? And they have the draft picks. So I think that's what they're waiting for. Now, let me just break down, other stuff that happened in the trade deadline and to kind of talk. I'll talk about some. Jeremy Grant, 160 for 5 years. Wow. Wow. Speechless. I congrats to him and his family. Jeremy Grant's a good player. This is a lot. Now, will it look a lot after the money signed and the deals are done and what it may not look a lot, but now it does look a lot. Yeah, it does. And Jeremy Grant's a good player, but right now, what's his face wants to leave? You're paying Jeremy Grant until he's 34. I don't know. I some say it's gonna age well. I guess I have to wait and see. To be honest, I gotta wait and see. I know he's a good player, but he hasn't made an All Star team. And when a person hasn't made an All Star team and they're getting 5 year 160, that's a lot. Kyrie Irving going back to Dallas. Shout out to Kyrie. He had to, and luckily they paid him. They paid him pretty well. I think he really wanted a deal as such. I think arguably Kyrie's 31. Kyrie's game can age well, but I think the attitude doesn't age well. I can see Kyrie, and I would say Tracy McGrady left because of injuries, but I can see Kyrie's like career, and I would hate for this to happen, not end the way we all believe it should end, because he deserves it for it to end a certain way. And I'm not sure if it's gonna, unless the attitude potentially changes. He's not gonna get another deal like the way like a Kyle Lowry or a Chris Paul did. I don't. I could be completely wrong, but something I'm not seeing. Fred VanVleet, I've talked about it with the Raptors podcast. Fred VanVleet is now gone. He's going to Houston. Him, Jeff Green, Dylan Brooks, all signed good deals. Some would say the Fred VanVleet deal, when you realize that the third year is a team option, so it's really a 2 year 80, and we'll have to see with the rest. If he makes this team better, then it's worth it. At the end of the day, you don't have to pay anyone. You don't have to pay Jalen Green until next year. Like, you don't have to pay him for 2 years, but you don't have to do his deal until next. Like, people are looking at Anthony Edwards. He got his 5 years. So did Desmond Bain. That is not this year. That's next season. They start getting that money. So it's not that bad. So if Jalen Green and all them, when the time comes, it'll come for them. It's a good veteran leadership to get Fred. Cameron Johnson decides to stay in Brooklyn. Great choice from him. I think that team is going to be a solid team next year. I actually do think it's going to be solid. They're not going to be bad. They'll probably be expect a Mikal Bridges breakout, a Cam Johnson breakout. I think if they got like a young player, they have to win games too. So they're not a Dame team, unfortunately, because the guys that they would want, Brooklyn gives all the Phoenix picks, and you can't trade Cam Johnson anymore. You know he wants to play with Mikal Bridges, so you couldn't do that. You have to trade Cam Thomas. You have to trade like a lot of your people to get that to work out. Chris Middleton stays. He opted out of a $40 million deal to get 3 years, 30. I think that is for a guy who's about to turn 32 in a couple months. I think that's a good choice. You get 3 years of that, because who would have known if you stick with your 40, what would you have gotten next year? Who knows? But he still should stay with Milwaukee. That's good. Draymond gets a 4 year 100 all guaranteed. He won you titles, man. You do it. I'm all about loyalty. I believe in loyalty a lot. You pay the man. So he's done a lot for you. Pirtle, I already talked about it. So did Brooks. Strauss, I told you. Herb Jones. I didn't even know like that was all a thing, but 4 year 50 mil, pretty good. Brooke Lopez stays for 2 and 48. Bruce Brown. We didn't talk about Bruce Brown. He is going to Indiana for a hell of a contract, which I heard is the second year is a team option. So let's see. For the annual. Oh no, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. Oh, it's all guaranteed. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That is. Oh no, it's a team option. Yeah, it looks a team option. That's what it says. Yeah, it's a team option. It's only the first year. So I don't know why I did that then. There's a lot of like team options this free agency. A lot of team options, a lot of like I'm shocked that they did so much. That's like the Fred's a team option. A lot of guys on the team. Javon Carter is going to Chicago. I thought Chicago made a little bit of some moves, man. They got Kobe White. I see they got Torrey Craig, Javon Carter. They're clearly trying to be better. They kept Vucevic. They're trying to get something else because they applied for that little exception for Lonzo Ball. Hope he gets well soon. All those things, those little things happen. Uh, Once again, Brooklyn got Lonnie Walker as well, so that's not bad. I think got Dennis Smith Jr. Kind of feel like him and Cam Johnson like are the same player. Alex Len goes back to Sacramento, I believe. So does Harrison Barnes. He ends up ringing up. Um, Nikhil stays with Minnesota, which is good. Yeah, Seth Curry. Seth Curry goes to Dallas. Him and Kyrie are kind of always together. Dwight Powell stays in Dallas. Dallas made some solid moves. No one understands the Reggie Jackson move, the 2 year 10 mil, and I believe both are guaranteed. That doesn't make a lot of sense because it's not like he played a lot, but I think it's one of those things like it's an insurance thing to kind of just keep him there. A guy who can hit a couple buckets, he's not a guy that you can't do a lot for. So I don't know. I think it's something. It's something that Cleveland and your team. I'm looking at Fred's contract to make sure. uh, It looks like it's all guaranteed. It looks like it's all guaranteed. You got to see. I look at the percentage of the cap it is, and Fred can still be. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that is guaranteed. That's not bad. See, Rich Paul was the real MVP of this whole thing. Rich Paul really got all his people paid. Got his guys paid. But yeah, free agency has been pretty, I don't know, cool. Some guys got paid. That's what happens. Like there was no yes, you still have Harden who's out there, not really out there, but he opted in, so we can figure he's gonna get traded. He doesn't want to go back to Philly, so he's gonna get traded. So it's things like that that still may be brewing. There's also Kyrie's is there, Fred is now there, but now Dame, like what's Dame gonna do? Is he gonna go to Miami? All signs are pointing that he wants to go to Miami. So it's one of those things that you just gotta almost let happen. What can you get? But they either want to give Tyler Hero to Brooklyn, which makes sense because then Brooklyn will give their Phoenix picks to Portland. So it's all kind of like it's gonna happen. It's gonna be a 14 deal. I hope the Raptors can kind of shimmy on in for some draft pick here or something along those lines. That's just me being a Raptors fan as a whole. But yeah, that's free agency right now. I think the Lakers won. I think Sacramento was pretty good too. I think Golden State keeping their team alive. As long as you have Steph Curry, you're good. Now, and they got Chris Paul too. So and they lost Jordan Poole. So I think they're much better now. I think Jordan Poole's not a good player. So and I'm not going to talk about Jordan Poole because what's the point? Kuzma went back to Washington because that's where he's going to score the most. He made a smart decision for himself. It was a selfish decision by him, and it was a smart one. He's going to be there. They're not going to be a good team. They'll probably be the worst team, but Kuzma's going to give you like 25 points a game, and he's the type of person that maybe the Wizards are like, okay, we signed him for like this much years. Hey, Lakers, we're kind of best friends anyway. We'll take D'Angelo Russell, and you'll take him, and you got to pay him for the 4 years, but at least we can take Russell and only have to pay him for like a year and a half. So I can see something like that happening as well. But yeah, free agency has been fun. I can't wait for more things to happen. Something with Dame is happening, Harden's happening. Make sure you check out my TikTok as well because I post a lot on that now, or I'm gonna post more on that. I just keep watching, man. Stay tuned, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you again. Peace.